You're listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
Hi everyone, welcome. This is Michelle Fern, host of Best Bets for Pets on Pet Life Radio. Now, they say what you eat is very important, and this is true for our furry friends also. I have a great show planned. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
We'll be right back, right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Buster, you're telling me my dog food products can't go on your shelves?
That's right. Didn't pass one of my Petco certified nutrition checklists. Sorry, Wayne.
Who made these checklists?
Geniuses. Very smart guys.
Well, it's good enough for most grocery stores.
Do you see cheese puffs on my shelves? Mayonnaise? Soda pop?
No.
That's because I ain't running no grocery store, Wayne. Your pets will get better nutrition, I guarantee it. Petco, where healthy pets go.
Enter the code LUCKY10, L-U-C-K-Y, the number 10, and get 10% off any order. No minimum at petco.com.
Would you like your business to reach out and invite in our audience? We have a brand new trademark concept called InfoSeeds. InfoSeeds are short 20-second seeds of information about your place of business, practice, or service. Is the best, most cost-effective way to invite us in. We only have a limited number of slots left. For more information, visit the website
PetLifeRadio.com.
Click on sponsorship information. There you can listen to a sample of InfoSeed. Remember, only a limited number of opportunities are available.
Hi everybody, I'm Megan Blake here with my sidekick Super Smiley, the giant mutt and spokes dog for throwaways. You're listening to Pet Life Radio, and I'd like to tell you about our brand new show, A Super Smiley Adventure. Our show explores adventures with animals. They can be traveling, out in the world trips, or inner journeys where our animals lead us to inspiration and self-discovery, or just plain fun adventures. Join us here on Pet Life Radio on A Super Smiley Adventure. Good boy.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Hi everyone, you're going to enjoy this show. I have with me Scott Freeman, and he's the founder of Nature's Logic. Welcome, Scott.
Hi, Michelle. Thanks a lot. I appreciate being on your program.
Well, we appreciate having you here. So, can you tell our listeners what Nature's Logic pet food is?
Sure, Michelle. It is a natural pet food. We produce 3 different categories. What most people think of as dry food or kibble, canned food, and raw frozen food. We do all 3 categories, as well as some treats, a variety of treats, and some really good supplements.
I know that your product is very different from other natural pet foods that are out there because it's a holistic product. For our listeners that might not be aware of that, can you explain that a little bit?
Sure, Michelle. There is something that distinguishes Nature's Logic from all other commercial pet foods, and that is that all essential nutrients that are required to be in pet food, in Nature's Logic, you get all of those from real food. Just the opposite occurs in all other commercial dry kibbles and canned food. What companies do to make up for what their actual food ingredients don't provide in the food, they make it up with what's called chemically synthesized vitamins and minerals. These are unnatural molecules that have been made at chemical plants, and that's what they fortify or put in their pet foods to make sure they meet the certain requirements of certain vitamins and minerals that are in what's called the AFCO nutrient profile for either a dog or a cat food. What we do is just the opposite, and what is totally natural, and that's we make sure we put enough of the right foods in each of our formulas to provide all those essential ingredients like vitamin A, vitamin D, like minerals, selenium and iron and copper, etc. All of that's coming strictly from the food. We do not add any chemical vitamins or minerals.
Wow, that's a very unique difference between Nature's Logic and everything else that's out there.
Well, if I could say two other comments about that, Michelle, may I?
Sure.
Yeah. When you're getting your nutrients from food, either a person or a pet, those nutrients are more bioavailable, and all of those nutrients will stay balanced in the body better if they're coming from food. Now, when you go and try to make up for what's missing from your diet with chemical forms of vitamins, it's very easy to throw balances off. So if you did a blood chemistry or hematology of a dog or a cat that's on a diet that's fortified with synthetic vitamins and minerals, you may see where some things are off. Like, say, if the diet has too much man-made vitamin D in it, it could throw the calcium way off and even cause hypercalcemia. It's what happened with a diet recently that had to do a recall of a number of their products. They accidentally added too much vitamin D. The body of the pets retained the blood, had too much calcium in it. It was making pets sick.
I know the food is very good for animals, especially because of how it's created, but it always comes down to taste too. So I actually tried the food, and my listeners know that listen regularly that I have one of my testers is very picky, and he's not a little dog either. You would think a 40-pound mixed dog would not be so picky, but he's so picky. He really liked the food. The canned, he went nuts for. Like, I barely put it down, and it was gone. And the dried he liked very well. And then my cat liked the dried too, but he's not quite as finicky as the dog. The dog is, and he loved it. So that to me is always a very good indicator. If he likes it, any dog would like it. He's so picky.
Well, and probably pets notice that when they smell our food, that they don't smell anything that might make them suspicious. When companies add these synthetic vitamins and minerals, these things aren't tasty at all. They're chemical molecules, and many of them are laced with different types of taste enhancers and things like that. So they won't in an attempt to not to make them cause some off odor or something in the food. For example, they'll use some special types of processed liver called hydrolyzed liver and put in these supplements. When you do the hydrolysis of liver protein, it actually converts it to a form of MSG. So we don't have to do that. We're just using food, and I think pets notice it when they smell our diets, that they don't smell anything suspicious in it.
Well, he loved it. I wonder about this. Is there a difference? Say, someone's going to try Nature's Logic. Maybe they had dried or canned before. What's the best way to decide if you should feed your dog canned, dried, or raw?
Well, here's what I tell our customers, Michelle. If you really think about it, dry food is only dry to make it shelf stable. The natural diet of a carnivore in the wild would be very high in moisture. Let's say if they prey on a rabbit and they eat that rabbit fresh, it would probably, I'm just guessing, maybe the body of that rabbit would be about 70% moisture. Just like when you see a piece of fresh meat that you're cooking at home, if you're not a vegetarian, you know there's a lot of moisture in that meat. So really, I tell people, even if they're feeding dry, I really encourage adding some moisture to dry food. Canned food has a more natural moisture content of a natural food. And then, of course, raw food has that natural moisture in it as well. So I'm certainly not opposed to feeding dry food. I make it for people to buy. But I really encourage adding moisture to the diet. So I don't know if I really got right on your, how they decide what to use. I think a dog or a cat needs moisture in their diet. So if you're feeding dry food, add moisture. If you're feeding just canned food, then the cat or the dog is getting the moisture they need. If you're feeding raw food, of course, then they're getting the moisture they need too. But feeding dry food only, I think, in my opinion, it needs moisture added to it. So.
Now, when you say add moisture, is that simply maybe adding water to the food?
Yes, I would just say, if you're feeding a half a cup of food, maybe put, a couple of tablespoons of water on it, just swish it around. And that water is needed for digestion. and it'll rehydrate some of the dried fruits and vegetables, the dried meat or poultry or fish that's in the food, and it's going to make it more digestible. And water is a necessary nutrient as well. So and it's missing in dry food, because if you get a kibble above 10% moisture, you're going to have a mold problem. So that, like I say, dry kibble is only dry to make it shelf stable. To really make it a perfect food for a dog or a cat, it really needs some moisture. Now, the cat, I think it'd be a little bit harder to get a cat to eat kibble that's been moist. So I would just say make dry food only a part of a cat's diet, but make sure you incorporate canned food into a cat's diet so it'll be getting the moisture.
Yeah, my cat likes canned food, dry food, and he likes the dog's food too. The dog's dried food. Don't ask. I don't know if it's good for him or not. I've heard no, but he's a big cat. He sneaks in and eats the dog food.
Well, I'll tell you a little secret about Nature's Logic dry dog food. Don't worry about it if your cat wants to eat it. It's got all the natural taurine in it your cat needs. It's got above the required protein in it for cat food, any life stage of a cat. So, don't worry about if your cat wants to eat Nature's Logic dog food. It'll be just fine.
Okay, great, because he does. And he does drink water. I've heard that some cats don't drink water just naturally. They just don't, but he drinks water.
That's very good.
He kind of thinks he's a dog sometimes, I think. He has two dog brothers, so, goes with those.
There you go. So he's mimicking his brothers then, his canine brothers.
He goes with the flow. It's funny.
Well, that's great.
You have on your website, you have a dog and cat feed calculator that's really interesting looking. Can you tell our listeners a little about that?
Yeah, what we have, if you want to get a recommendation, based on National Research Council amounts to feed a dog or a cat, you can go to our natureslogic.com and click on feeding calculator, click on whether you're doing this for a dog or a cat, and then you want to plug in your weight, the optimal weight of your dog or cat. If your cat or dog is overweight, you should put what the weight should be in there, and then scroll on down, and it'll give you, then you want to put whether you're feeding 100% dry, 100% can, or 100% raw, or say you want to know how much to feed if you want to feed 50% dry and 50% can, and then scroll down and it'll give you the amount based on the activity level of your dog and the age of your dog or cat. And so that's what it's for. It's an easy way to not only calculate if you're just feeding dry only, but if you're feeding a combination of our food, it'll tell you how much to feed of each per day. Now, that's going to be total amount for a day, taking into consideration that you're not feeding anything else, treats or anything. Always, if you're a person that feeds treats to your pets, cut back on the amount of food you're feeding, or you'll end up with an overweight pet. So that's how much you feed total per day of our food, based on if you're not feeding any treats or anything else.
Yeah, it's great information. So where can our listeners purchase Nature's Logic?
We're growing more into additional stores every day. We have a store locator on our website as well. You just click on it. You've got two different ways to use it. You can put in your zip code, or you can you can click on your state and then scroll down to the cities in alphabetical order. But if you cannot find a place to buy it near you, there are a number of places. There's a place on our website to click where it says buy online, and there are websites that sell our food, like petfooddirect.com, like onlynaturalpet.com. There's a number of these sites all over the country that sell our complete line. So you can either find a store online, or you can find an online store. And if that doesn't find it for one of your customers, Michelle, just tell them to call our 800 number. We'll be glad to help them.
Okay, great. So listeners, go to natureslogic.com and you can find a store near you, or you can find it online. Thanks so much, Scott, for coming on my show and telling our listeners about your wonderful product, Nature's Logic.
Well, it's my pleasure, Michelle. I hope I have time in the future to talk again. Maybe we'll talk a little bit more detail about some of the other interesting things about the food.
Oh, let me just ask, do you have anything new coming out?
Well, we do. We just launched a sardine canned food. There are a lot of dogs out there that genetically they're from the north, things like that, and fish, it was genetically a big part of their diet. So we've come out, and it's good for any dog to have a little bit of fish. It's great for their skin and coat with the different fats that fish provides. That's just recently come out. We're working on a new treat line that'll come out very soon, and we're going to add some proteins to our raw foods as well. We only have chicken, beef, and rabbit right now, and we're looking at coming out with some additional proteins in the raw as well, like a fish and maybe a buffalo or a venison.
Oh, sounds very interesting. I'm sure the dogs and cats are going to love these new items that are coming out.
Well, we sure hope so.
So thanks for coming on Best Bets for Pets and telling our listeners all about Nature's Logic.
Michelle, my pleasure. It's people like you that really help educate the public out there about great products, and we appreciate having the opportunity.
And listeners, please go to natureslogic.com. You could find out all about Nature's Logic food. Their feed calculator is really informative, really helpful. And you could also find a place near you that is selling Nature's Logic, or you can buy it online. Thanks again to Scott Freeman from Nature's Logic for coming on Best Beds for Pets and telling our listeners all about Nature's Logic. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with another great show.
We'll be right back, right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Love your pets but wish their medications were a lot less expensive? They are at 1-800-PET-MEDS. You'll not only save on flea and heartworm medications, but on prescriptions for arthritis, incontinence, thyroid, and more. And you get fast service, free shipping, and a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Plus, our licensed pharmacists ensure accuracy, monitor drug interaction, and more. See why over 5 million people have trusted their pet's health to 1-800-PET-MEDS, America's largest pet pharmacy. Call now or order online.
Go to 1-800-PetMeds.com/best, BEST, to get 10% off any order and free shipping on orders of $39 or more at PetMeds.com.
I don't make any decisions about who to hire without going to Angie's List first.
You'll find reviews on home repair to healthcare, written by people just like you.
With Angie's List, I know who to call, and I know the results will be fantastic.
Angie's List, who you can trust.
Go to angieslist.com/best and get 25% off any subscription. That's angieslist.com/best, BEST.
How would you like your business to reach out and invite in our audience? We have a brand new trademark concept called InfoSeeds. InfoSeeds are short 20-second seeds of information about your place of business, practice, or service. We only have a limited number of slots left. For more information, visit
PetLifeRadio.com.
Click on sponsorship information. There you can listen to a sample of InfoSeed or email us at
PetLifeRadio.com.
Remember, only a limited number of opportunities are available.
Hi, this is Tim Link, host of Animal Rights on Pet Life Radio. Join me as we feature interviews with best-selling pet-related authors, award-winning writers, journalists, and bloggers. And we'll tell stories about the animals and interesting topics about the animals in our lives. Each of the interviews will give you a first-hand knowledge about why the authors and writers chose a particular story, what the feature animals meant to them, and what has become of those animals that we've talked about. And of course, I'll also share stories from my own books, blogs, articles, and experiences. So be sure to join me and the writers and authors on Animal Rights.
Every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Hey everyone, I'd like to welcome Kristen Smith. She is the Executive Director of the Planet Dog Foundation and the Brand Ambassador for Planet Dog. Welcome, Kristen.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, can you tell our listeners a little bit about Planet Dog?
Sure. Planet Dog has been in business for almost 15 years, and we are designers and developers of a whole range of products for dogs. We make a line of dog toys, leashes and collars, some gear for the home. We do some travel gear for dogs on the go. It's a whole range of environmentally friendly and very durable and high-quality pet goods.
I tried the Orbeez, which are special for your anniversary, your 10th anniversary. They're basically a high-quality rubber ball But what I thought was really exciting is that they're mint. They're mint flavored. I guess flavored. I didn't try it, but Zeus, you could smell the mint. So I thought that was really neat because you don't see that a lot.
Right. Well, our Orby ball, we've actually been making Orby balls for 10 years, and this is the 10-year anniversary. So we did come out with some new colors this year to celebrate the Orby's birthday. And the Orby balls they are very durable, they're buoyant, and they're all scented with mint. Not so much flavored with mint, but they smell minty. So the people can smell them, and they do freshen the dog's breath a little bit as well.
I'm sure most dogs can use fresh breath almost all the time.
Absolutely.
Tell us a bit about the different products that Planet Dog has besides the Orbeez.
Again, the Orby is really the ball that put us on the map. It's been called the world's best dog ball. And we use the compound, our Orby Tough compound, to make a range of different toys for different type of chewers. So we have our Orby ball. We also have an Orbo, which is sort of an 8-shaped ball that has a treat spot in it. So you can put some kibble in there or some peanut butter or something to make them interactive. So keep your dog busy for you. And we do have a line of leashes and collars, our cozy hemp, they're called. And those are made out of 100% hemp, very durable and long-lasting for dogs. We recently came out with something called the Woodchuck, which is a ball tosser. You know, you pick up an Orby ball or an Orby tennis ball and throw it. It's made out of bamboo, which is very sustainable. And then the handle is actually made out of recycled cork. So it's a new take on a traditional ball tosser, but in a much more sustainable way.
Oh, that's great. Plus, it sounds like from the materials that it's made of, it'd be very comfortable.
It's very comfortable and very beautiful to look at, I have to say. It looks really classy and nice.
We always want to look stylish for our dogs or while we're with them, you know?
At the dog park.
Yeah, at the dog park. The dogs don't know. It's the owners, you know?
Right. Well, for the dog's sake, it does throw the ball very, very far. So the dogs like it, too, because it really gets that ball going.
Oh, that sounds like a great product. That's great information on the Planet Dog products. What does the Planet Dog Foundation do?
Well, one of the things that makes Planet Dog such a special company is that they donate 2% of every sale to our nonprofit foundation, the Planet Dog Foundation. And with those funds, the Planet Dog Foundation provides grant funding to canine service organizations where dogs are trained to help people in need in a variety of ways. So we fund service dogs and assistance dogs for people with disabilities, guide dogs for people with visual impairment. We fund therapy dog programs where dogs help teach literacy to children or visit people in the hospital. We also fund canine search and rescue programs, police and military dogs and bomb-sniffing dogs, a whole range of services where dogs are being trained to work with people to help people in need. And that's what we do with the proceeds of every one of our sales.
So it's a great way to, buy something that's fun for you with interacting with your dog and also give back.
Exactly. It gives back. Every time you purchase anything from Planet Dog, some of that goes back to help the dog community.
That's wonderful. Now, where can our listeners find Planet Dog products?
There are a number of small, pet boutiques around the country that carry our line of products. And if your listeners visit planetdog.com, they can find a retailer on our website, or they can purchase our products directly from us on our website.
Okay, that's wonderful. So our listeners can go to planetdog.com and find out all about Planet Dog and also find out where Planet Dog products are located. And our listeners can purchase them directly from your site as well?
That's right.
Okay.
And they can also go visit our foundation website, which is planetdogfoundation.org, and learn more about where the proceeds of their purchases are going and the variety of programs that we have funded with their help.
So, Kristen, thanks so much for telling us all about Planet Dog and the Planet Dog Foundation. Now, birthdays and anniversaries are really special. So tell us a little bit more about the Orbi 10-year anniversary, please.
Well, again, we are celebrating the 10 years of our Orbi Ball. And again, the Orbi Ball is really the product that brought Planet Dog to the forefront of the pet industry. And with the birth of the Orbi Ball is when we were also able to start our foundation and do our grant giving. So in addition to 10 years of our Orbi Ball this year, we're also celebrating 10 years of giving. We have donated nearly $750,000 in cash and in-kind donations to nonprofits across the country as of this year. So we will be spending the second half of the year really celebrating our 10 years of giving.
That's wonderful. Well, happy birthday, Orbi.
Thank you. Happy birthday, Orbi.
So again, our listeners can go to planetdog.com and planetdogfoundation.com to find out more about the, Planet Dog products, foundation, and any other information, ordering products and all that sort of thing regarding Planet Dog.
That's right.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thanks so much, Kristen, for coming on Bets for Pets and telling our listeners about Planet Dog. It's always exciting celebrating an anniversary, especially, a milestone like 10 years.
Yes, thank you so much, and it's always a pleasure to talk to you, Michelle. Thank you.
Thanks, Kristen, for coming on Best Bets for Pets and telling our listeners all about Planet Dog. Thanks to my producer, Mark Winter, for making me and my guests sound great. Thanks to my fur babies, Zeusman and Nikki, and Mr. Dennis for keeping me on my toes and letting me know that it's all the little stuff and it doesn't really matter, huh? If you have questions, you can send them in to Michelle at PetLifeRadio.com. Please check out my blog where I post different pictures and interesting things about some of the products. You can just do a search, Best Bets for Pets blog, and you'll find out all about my blog. Thanks again for listening.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.